Hi there. My name is Josh Harmon, and today I'll be talking about how to prepare for the United States 1950 federal census. The census was mandated by the Constitution of the United States originally so that representatives and taxes could be assigned based on the population of the states of the Union. Every 10 years since 1790, census enumerators have gone out to interview the residents of the United States. While initially the censuses were focused primarily on getting a count of the citizens of the United States, since then the government has become interested in additional information, such as types of jobs people worked, whether they owned a radio or not, whether they lived on a farm, or where they were born. In the 1950 US Census specifically, there's a lot of information you can discover about your family. You may be able to find names, ages, addresses, relationships to the head of the household, whether their house was on a farm, their marital status, birthplace, whether they were a naturalized citizen, employment status, hours worked in a week, and even their occupation, industry, and what class of worker they were. In the 1950 census, there is information on 150,697,361 US residents as of April 1st, 1950. Not every person actually answered the questions on April 1st, but questions were asked as to whether people had been living on that date. Because information in the census is considered confidential under Title 13, Section 9 of the United States Code, the census data will not be available to the public until it is released by the National Archives and Records Administration 72 years after it was originally taken, which will be on April 1st, 2022. Once the images of the census are released, Ancestry.com will make those images available with the ability to browse by location only initially while we work on searchable full name indexes. Even though you're not going to be able to immediately search by names, there's still things that you can do to prepare so that you'll be able to find your family as soon as the ability to browse the images is available. The first thing you can do is create a list of everyone in your family tree who should be at the 1950 census. Generally, that would be anyone who would have been living in the United States as of April 1st, 1950. Then, for each of those people, find and record their addresses in 1950, or as close as to 1950 as you can get. If you know where they lived, that will make it as easy as possible to find them when those images finally become available. If you're wondering about some good ways to find where your ancestors lived, the easiest place to start would be with Ancestry.com record collections, like the 1940 United States Federal Census, our U.S. Citizenry Directories collections, or World War II draft registration cards. For example, if I were looking for my grandfather's address in the 1940 census, you would see the state and county, usually in the top left here. And then along the left of the record, in this column, you would see the street. And finally, next to his family, you would see the house number. The information is also available in the index panel on the right. Or in a World War II draft registration card, the place of residence and mailing address are very clearly laid out next to the name. And then finally, if I were to look in the United States city directories, you'll usually be able to pull the year and city from the title of the directory. And then within the directory itself, you'll see the street address of your family member, potentially with other information like their occupation and who they might have been employed by. Other places you might find where your family members lived around 1950 would be things like letters, books, or photos that you or other family members might have. Or one of the greatest sources might be actually just to ask them. If you're not able to find the specific address or you're not quite sure that it's the right address, don't worry. Even with just a general location, you'll be able to browse through the census images by that location until you find the right family. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow and subscribe for more great videos.